Wait a minute.
The mail room, I be tuned in. Listening to Tashawn, she be going in.
Y'all.
Black queen for us black kings. We can learn a thing or two when we're locked in. One of the few places we can be heard.
Facts,
Man, I rocks with her, that's my word. The show is enlightening, engagement always enticing. I always come with an open mind, I'm never frightened. Guaranteed to walk away with minerals. Now that I'm thinking everything else is minuscule. We're the fools who don't protect black women. No arguing, disrespect, and that's it.
Y'all.
Please come in peace when you call in. Cause our friends ain't no slouch, fair warning. The mail room, messages from him. Y'all better listen if you wanna win. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in.
Up, everybody, welcome to the mail room. Messages from him.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Everybody, let's see. We got everybody in the house. But before we get started, TMR is sponsored by Swag Her Magazine and TLC Coaching Services and hosted on 101 TKO Radio. Download the 101 TKO Radio app today. So listen up, good people. We're back for season 6. Woo! In podcast form. We are now coming to you on all major podcast platforms, including Apple, Spotify, Google, and 101 TKO Radio's Spreaker.com. Subscribe to Spreaker.com and our YouTube, The Mailroom 7671. So listen, y'all, I got a full house today. I got my friends. We got DJ Johnny Prince.
Yeah, it's going on. Good morning.
What's going on? We got Mr. Takeover.
Yes, ma'am.
We got Mark B, our guest co-host. How you doing?
Good. How's everybody?
Going good.
We got Miss Evelyn Whitney. How you doing with the curls?
I know the curls.
Well, curls.
Hey, they popping over there.
And we got Miss Coach La Tressa, the real La Tressa. How you doing, girl?
Can you hear us?
Tressa.
Oh, it's a delay. She delayed, y'all. Tressa, you delayed, girl.
Big delay.
You know what?
Delay is going in and out. Can y'all hear me?
You got to go completely out to come back in. All right, do that. Let's go. We'll see you at the end of the show.
Listen.
What?
You're wrong for that.
Listen. Happy Founders Day to the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated and our very own The Real La Tressa. Thank you all so much. Always supporting TLC and endeavors I have. Thank you so much. In fact, all three of y'all on my team, Latressa, Gina, and Arlene, happy Founders Day and wishing you all this year, 111th, 112?
100.
So delayed. We'll get there.
Tressa, you may have to restart your computer. Come back, girl.
Because you delayed.
Restart the whole internet, and then you come back. Go holler at Al Gore and see if he can't upgrade your internet to the premium package.
Listen, that is our very own guest co-host, the real La Tressa. She'll be back here. So listen, y'all, we got a dynamic show today. We are talking about Screen Isha, the side chick. But before we start that, my brow to Sean's the brow goes to goes to this pastor and his pregnant side chick that was trying to fight the pastor's wife in church doing church services. So the side chick is the pastor's mistress, but mad at the wife and wanted to fight in the church services. So they had to call the police, and the police had to, end up telling them to get out because the pastor wasn't leaving. So he wasn't leaving. He was trying to explain to the people that they couldn't remove him, this, that, and the other. But the side chick was trying to fight the wife on the front pew. It was a mess. It was
at service.
So the second lady was trying to fight the first lady.
The first lady.
The second lady. No.
No, the side chick, the mistress.
Yeah, the second lady.
No.
The second lady.
The second lady.
The concubine is
That's
what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Much. Yeah.
Hey,
So,
Keisha, how you doing? Thank you.
I didn't want to be the second lady.
I
No
want
more.
to
I want to graduate with
No.
first. And you need to go to second.
Look,
Yeah,
there can be
and
only
they were-
one, and like they say in in the Highlander movie, there can be only one. So you got to take out the one.
Listen,
The two got to take out the one.
he
What,
needs to
what
sit himself
denomination
down.
is this, may I ask?
Yeah,
It looked like it was an old traditional Baptist church. From the church,
Okay.
it looked like it was a traditional Baptist church, and because he was talking about the deacons can't remove him, so that whole church needs restructuring.
Well, technically, in the Baptist church, they
I mean, that's the church the deacons can remove you real quick.
Exactly.
Right,
If he's
they
apostolic, he
Yeah,
might have
and-
our Kojic, he might have a leg to stand on. But
Right.
Baptists, they vote their pastors in and out.
right. It looked like from the sound of the way he was trying to explain, like had already had these conversations, and he just refused. But that side chick got up, was headed to the front pew, and she started trying to fight the lady. But first of all, you pregnant, and then second of all, you the side chick. If anything,
Don't you hate
know
when your
that.
side
Listen,
chick
all
show
the
up to
clips.
your job
I've seen these
and
clips.
try and mess up your workspace?
Listen, I've seen it happen.
Don't come to my job.
I've seen it happen. Woo! APS had a big thing about it. Was some principals and the teachers. They were having a side chick activity.
Epidemic.
I know
And
them
the-
students love that, boy.
Woo! Them teachers went to the school, and some of them came out of the school. It was a big mess. But of course, everybody kept it hush hush. But we knew who the guy was because we were like, that was him. He did it.
Wow.
He had him.
My view on this is I am all about personal responsibility. I'm not saying that the side chick was right, but you have to understand that I don't believe she would have been empowered to do that had that pastor not been telling her some things about, I'm going to leave my wife, and it's going to be me and you, and all of these types of things. So now I believe that again, she's not correct to go up and try to fight someone.
Yeah.
But you have to take into account what she may have been told in order to actuate her.
Nobody talking about that.
This is the pastor's fault.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
definitely his fault. Definitely his. But here's the thing: how many times do you get told that story before we start assigning blame to women who keep listening to the same story? He said he was going to leave his wife.
Right.
How many times
exactly?
Like how many generations and variations of that story? Please,
that generation, that is going to continue until a particular generation, hopefully this one, stops raising young girls to believe that her highest priority is marriage.
Yeah.
Wait a minute now.
Wait a minute, let me finish. As soon as people stop telling young women that their highest value is in a relationship, they won't be as blind as they are to these men who are lying to them, even though they know better. They won't be as easily persuaded by his lies because his lies give her value when he is her everything and she is only an option for him. So when that changes, women will stop listening to these men who say, "Oh, baby, it's gonna be me and you. I'm gonna leave my wife for you," and all this type of stuff. They'll
these lies.
stop believing
Yeah.
that when they
So
have a new basis for their own personal value.
Okay.
So I got a question, a follow-up question. Is
Yes.
it that they are being told this by society, or is it women competing against one another for that value of being a wife?
That
Because
is
I see women
strictly
competing with one another and
no,
saying
but
that
see,
I'm more valuable than you.
they do that
Because I'm
because
more.
of the inherent belief that their value is in having a relationship. So I have to be better than this other woman because I want that one out of a million available man. So society is made up of, we always say, they said this, they said that. Let me tell you who they are. They are your mom, your father, your cousins, your sisters, your brothers, the movies you see, the magazines you read, the tweets you repost. They collectively are society. So what you're asking about the two different groups of people are actually one and the same. These women who are acting upon their own desire to be valued as demonstrated by some man's love, that competition begins between them because that's how they define their own value, because that's what people tell them. If you're 28 as a woman and you're not married with no kids, people figure something's wrong with you. But if you're a man 28 with no kids, the whole world is still your oyster. What's wrong with 28 male to woman? Nothing. Just the way that we act about it, just the way that we perceive it. When women stop valuing themselves by who they're related to, that will stop. If a woman doesn't have a husband or if she doesn't have any kids, people look at her like she's useless, like she's worthless. She's a spinster at 33, you know?
Yeah.
And that's not
I see
the way
girls.
that men are treated, because women are taught to prioritize marriage and relationships, and men are taught to prioritize money, career, and success. That's why they're always on the different page about where the priority of a relationship should be.
Go ahead, Mark.
I was just saying that I see, being the father of daughters, and it makes you more aware of things, the development of girls than you were before, right? So
Yeah.
I see girls in elementary school, junior high school, who once some girls start getting attention because they're, maybe their bodies develop or they're a little pretty girl or whatever,
Yeah.
then other girls start being angry or aggressive towards them because they're getting attention from boys. That's why I don't know if I could attribute it to society as much, because I see that level of envy starting at a very early age before they're even thinking about marriage.
But she's saying
Do
that that's
young
one and the
men do
same.
that
We
also?
are society, regardless. We are what
Exactly.
society is.
Yes. But
Yeah.
you also have to
Well,
consider young men do that too. If a
mhm.
guy going to a class and all of a sudden his classmate is 6 inches taller over the summer, getting all of the attention from young women, that envy starts with them too. That isn't gender
Yeah, that was
based.
me.
Yeah, but I
But
don't think we, like, guys aren't really as aggressive towards one another though. There's
yeah.
never been a guy who's like, look at that dude over there with all his muscles on his chest and stuff, thinking he's better than me. Like, we don't really do that. We usually
Right.
go in
I've
the
heard
gym
that.
and try and get a. I haven't heard it.
I
I
haven't heard
have
it either.
indeed.
I haven't heard
In
that
all my
either.
years of guydom, I've never heard it.
Well, I was
But
we
an
got it.
ugly
it
friend
happens.
in
I'm
my
sure it happens,
group,
but I've
so
never heard it though.
Yeah, I'm me. I
yeah, I
never
was
heard
an
that.
ugly friend in my group, so it didn't
Yeah,
matter.
because
You're the
normally if we do
guy,
that,
I love
because normally if we do that, we're kind of conceding that guy is better
it.
than us, and our egos won't allow us to
Right.
concede that guy is better than us. So
Yeah.
we'll be like, well, if I get in the gym and I start, doing some push-ups, they're gonna be all on me too. Or else,
That's
if I had
exactly
money,
what
then
they
that's
say to
kind of how
get
we do.
out from that.
Well,
You're
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely right. That's
But a
exactly
lot
what
of
they say to
women
get out
do.
of it.
A lot of women don't mind being the side chicks. I mean, they got a new show.
That's
yeah.
what I was gonna say. Listen,
coming out.
exactly. That's what I
that's
was
so
gonna
sad.
say.
They don't
See,
mind being a side chick. So
Oh
today
yeah, they don't mind.
is there's a new, a lot of women are not, this is and I think this is the there's a lot of women that don't
They aren't
they don't
ashamed of
understand,
it
they
anymore.
don't know,
they're not.
they don't
They
know, or
don't
they
care.
care to not know that the women today are very much different. There's a different I don't care today, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you
Yeah.
want to believe it or not, there's a different I don't care. So these women, there's a lot more women today okay with being the fourth chick. They're just
Yeah.
okay with it. There is
Yeah.
because it's being with someone over being alone. I have
Right.
somebody. There's somebody
Yeah.
there, regardless
I
of the
think if
case.
we ask grandma though, there was some women that was okay with being a side chick back in
No,
the
no,
day too.
Oh
absolutely,
yeah, most
absolutely,
definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But see, the thing with
Yeah,
that,
It's
let's
just
the thing
more
with
definitely talk
prevalent now.
about it.
the thing with back in the day is that grandpa was taking care of
It's more
everybody. He was
prevalent
taking
now.
care of both families, three or everybody was getting taken care of well.
Yeah,
Today,
Yeah.
yeah,
it's just about the best pipe down I can get and the
Yeah.
best
yeah,
company I can get. You ain't got to give me
yeah.
nothing. But as long as I'm able
Right.
to call you, you can come over here and we can just be together, then we good. That's the
Yeah.
type of women, right? There's more women like that right today that is okay with that. I
There's
don't
more
have to
women.
bamboozle you anymore. I don't have to
Right.
sit with you and be
Right.
like, yo, man, I got this, you know what I mean? I got this. I don't have to lie to you anymore. I got a
Right.
wife.
You
They got
don't.
my
They
ring.
don't have to.
I got a
Yeah.
wife, and we
You
can do
got
what we could do from this, you know what I mean? Whatever. And she be
But
on
it's
board with it. Crazy.
it's alarming too that the men ask to want to be side dudes too. I've had a lot of dudes to ask me to be
Yeah.
for them to
I
be
didn't
my
want
That's
to
side.
be
crazy
side
that
too.
dude.
that ain't
I was forced
that
into being a side dude. I didn't like that.
that ain't
Why
nothing
you be
crazy.
forced to being a side dude,
I was
LaRon?
forced because I was married and I was
You
forced into a
forced.
side
Hey,
dude.
hey,
I did not like that. I did not like it.
somebody
Yo.
mute
Look,
his microphone.
look, we don't.
How you
Us
were
fellas
forced
don't
to
mind.
be?
We don't mind being the side dude as long as look.
I
We're
mind.
there for a purpose. We
I
there to try
mind.
and get. We trying to dip our beaks. I'm trying to keep it PG. We trying to dip our beaks in what we can dip our beaks in. So we
I
don't care
mind.
about being
Let
a
me
side
let
dude
me
as
let
Yeah.
me
long as
ask
we can get what we get.
Men know
For
me
the
their
put
most
this
position
part.
in that
question out
situation.
there.
Go ahead.
Let me put this question out there. If
That
we're keeping it PG, ha, guys just
Yeah.
want to
thinking with
dip
a
their beaks.
different
Okay,
head and heart.
there are guys for whom that is true, no doubt. There are
Uh,
guys for whom that is true, no doubt.
Yeah.
What do you make of the mentality of some guys who want to dip their beaks, but they only want that woman to let him dip it? They won't be in a relationship with her. They won't commit to her, but they don't want to let her be in a relationship with somebody else.
That's called
If
pimping.
yeah.
Yeah,
He
That's
pimping.
that's what that is. Yeah,
that's a
that's
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 He,
that's
if
straight
pimp.
pimping.
he
That's
pimping.
not the good kind of pimping.
Yeah,
That's the bad
no.
kind of pimping.
Yeah,
That's
That's
the
the
bad kind of pimping.
that's
that's
Yeah.
straight pimping.
yeah. Like
if
so. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
if he really is only with her just for sex, how does he justify leading her along emotionally so that she's committed to him when she knows he's not committed to her?
Well,
If
what I'm
it's
telling
just about sex, why does he want to do that?
he don't
There are
have
women
to.
who
That's what
ask
I'm
that
saying.
question all the time.
Yeah, no, he don't have to lead her on emotionally. This is what it is.
But
This is
I'm
what I'm
saying
providing.
some of them
But he
will.
does. But he does.
Some
Yes.
will.
So
Okay.
so we're talking about a power dynamic in that. It's
Yeah,
there's something
yeah,
that feeds the ego when I can control somebody
right.
that I shouldn't be able to control. That's what made to go back to
Agreed.
pimping. That's what made
Yeah,
pimps different is
yeah.
because one, we as men understand that women are susceptible to their ear gates. So
Hmm.
if we can get you to listen to us, then we can really kind of push things in a positive or a negative way. We can either empower you or we can break you down. We know that um, women are susceptible to that. Men are susceptible to what we see. So that's why women wear lipstick and dudes, get their mouth fixed. So if we it's not
Real.
about like yeah it's not about him only wanting to be the one. Like there's dynamics in people who are in the swinger lifestyle where the dude can have sex with whoever he wants to, but the woman can only have sex with
With
the
him.
guy
Yeah.
and some other girl because she's fulfilling his fantasy.
Mhm.
Because there's something misogynistic about that, of course, but there also is a lack of empowerment for her. For him, he gets the joy of I'm controlling um, the sexual narrative between me and her and somebody else. So that's a guy who is controlling. Period. That's a guy who is not looking out for her best interest. It's not just about sex. He wants to have power over her also. A dude
Hmm.
who just want to have sex do not care if
Yeah.
you got to do it.
What you doing?
He
What you doing?
he
Yeah.
don't care what you got going on. His
Hmm.
feelings aren't involved in it anyway.
Yeah.
He's just trying to smash, and then hey, we high five each other at work, or I say hi to you, man. Hey, how you doing, bro? I'm nice. Yeah. She talks
That's
about you all the
crazy.
time.
This is why.
Holler at me later. Look,
Woo.
that's.
Have
But
y'all ever
guys,
been? Go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, guys are more cool with that because we don't generally attach emotion to sexual
Yeah.
activity.
To the nut.
Yeah. Have y'all ever been approached by aggressive women like that who wanted to
Yes.
be your side chick?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Crazy.
Didn't care that you were in a relationship.
Crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Crazy. I was
What
like,
about
Yeah, those
y'all?
are ones
Ladies?
that
Have y'all ever been approached by men while y'all were in relationships?
I have.
hold up.
I,
Oh, wait a minute. I
if
thought
I
you was
heard the
asking us.
question,
she
if
did.
I heard,
No, no. Let's make
I'm
that
in Indiana.
clear.
I'm not in Atlanta.
I
I
was
was
gonna
just making
say,
sure.
if I heard the question,
Different rules. Different rules
Not on
up
the
here.
TMR show. Not on the TMR show. We straight.
Yes.
Right over in here.
Yeah.
Ooh. But you know, we're in Atlanta too, so
I'm
I
not.
was.
Go
If
ahead,
I heard the
Whitney.
question correctly, it was, as women, had we ever been approached to take on a guy while we were in a relationship?
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever been approached by a guy?
Oh, okay. No, I was going to answer the other way. I was going to say, I thought that you were asking if we as women had been invited to be the side chick.
I mean that
That
too.
too.
I've been
Have you ever been
invited
invited?
to be a side
Yes,
chick.
I have.
I've been invited to be a side chick, and a guy has asked me to be for him to be my side dude while in
It's offering.
yeah.
It's a gift.
Offering.
So ladies, have y'all been in that position?
Yeah, I had them offering, and like
Uh-oh.
I have, and they offered to take care of me and pay for everything and this and that.
Sugar daddy.
So I guess to be that kept woman.
Yeah.
That's
You
how
see,
guys do it with money. Women do it with showing cleavage or
with their with their bodies.
thing.
Yeah. Evelyn, have you?
I've been invited to be the side chick, and no, obviously that did not go well for him. I
This
don't
feeling still hurt.
remember. I don't remember if I was. I don't remember if I was propositioned by a dude to be the side, for him to be the side. I don't remember that because typically with the way that I conduct relationships, a lot
Okay,
becomes
purpose.
water off a duck's back. If I am committed to him, he's committed to me. A lot of foolishness does not enter our sacred sanctum. It
No
does
doubt.
not. So I don't remember some of the foolishness that's been said to me while I'm in a relationship. But this other guy particularly, I think I told you guys about him, that he wanted me to be number two. And like I said, that did not go well for him.
Well, listen, this is why, and this is to go to your point, Evelyn. This is why relationship is so important. This is why it is important to teach boys and girls that relationship and marriage is very, very important, because once you enter these different lanes, once you there is so many types of relationships. There is so many options you can do. You can have so many polys. You can have there's a girl that made a video out, and she said she's in a solo poly relationship. So now she's dealing with this group. This group is now with this group. This group is dealing with that group. And if we all are, I'm gonna send this to you.
That's what we used to call it back in the day, but that's they got new terms.
Right. So they just don't want to.
So this is what I'm saying.
Titles so that it won't look bad.
Exactly.
Don't say what it is.
This is right. Y'all are correct. And this is why relationship is important, because when you have one, right, and that's your one, that's your person. But then when you start to include multiple people into your circle, it may work for some. Whatever the case may be, I ain't knocking the situation. But my thing is, the more personalities that is entering your energy, your source, your space. the more difficult it can be for you. The more, because
Yeah.
you're taking on multiple energies that's unnecessary. So now, if you teach your daughter the importance of relationship, you teach your son the importance of make sure you marry and have the right woman, because that person can break you. That is highly important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is important
You
to
gotta
teach these kids, because what it is we're not telling our kids about poly situations. We're not teaching our kids about orgies. We're not teaching our kids about dealing with multiple personality. We're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to teach them, because they're going to be faced with these options. It's like,
I
damn, what
don't
am I?
know if that would be. I don't know how young do you start talking about poly relationships.
They're having sex at 11 years old.
you
Yeah, I
These
don't
tell them
know.
middle
I
that
schoolers are having sex.
Hey, I can tell
you
you
tell
But the thing
by
is,
you
though,
by
you
pause
have to be
you
careful with that.
pause Paw Patrol, and then you tell them about the orgies that take. Now, you know what? Let's
Peppa Pig.
truthfully, yeah,
Dora
Peppa
the
Pig. You
Explorer is
call
a
Peppa
new thing
Pig.
These
now.
kids getting it. These kids getting
Well,
pregnant at 14, y'all.
I
13,
mean,
14
They
that
are.
to
that
this
is
day.
That's
true.
true. That's
Like
true.
that is true. They are exposed to sex early.
Yeah.
That's no doubt.
Yeah.
But the whole relationship, unless you're born into the whole sister wives tribe, and then
Yeah.
you may be. But I mean, I guess the
Mormonism.
conversation I guess you can talk to you have a sit down discussion, like let's talk about the different type. Yeah,
you,
I
you
guess,
know
You know
but
what
what's?
is
Oh,
you
go
can't
ahead.
help but talk about the conversation because it's on TV now. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's
It's
everywhere.
purposely being
Yeah.
put in every
It's
sitcom,
true.
Yeah,
every
everything.
new shows coming
Even in the
out. You
cartoons.
have to have.
Yeah.
It seems
Yeah.
like every show now has to have a same-sex relationship going
Yep.
on.
Yeah.
If
Yep.
you
Yeah.
don't,
Yep.
it's like they're gonna get carded, gonna get
Yep.
fined if you
Yeah.
don't have
Yep.
that
They'll
going
be
on.
called phobic.
Yes.
And
I
it's
think like
Yes.
what you do with your kids is you teach them that in a relationship they're supposed to get as much out of that relationship as the other person does. So
yeah,
you tell your daughters that it's not just your job to love that man good, it's also his job to love you. You tell
No
your
doubt.
sons that it's not just your job to love that woman, she has to
right,
love you too. And this is what love looks like. And that's kind of what the descriptor of what you how you introduce relationship to the kids, right? Because a lot of times girls are taught that they need to be pretty. When they get older, they need to be sexy. They need to be able to do all these things to a guy, and that's what determines their worth in a relationship. But they're never really taught like you're supposed to want to do these things, not because you have a fear of losing that man, but
yeah,
because he treats you so well that
Right.
you want to love
Right.
on him the way
Reciprocate.
that,
Right.
yeah. And
Right.
he's
yeah,
supposed to do the same
The
thing.
same
And
thing.
guys, sometimes little boys who are taught to be good men are not taught how to receive love from
Correct.
women or
Correct.
how to look for good women. They're taught
Correct.
right,
to throw this love on every woman that they
Yeah. They come
date, and
across.
then they end up brokenhearted and Kevin
Yeah.
Samuel
Yeah.
fights. That's what
right.
that's where they
Listen,
end up.
let me switch gears for a moment and do these business shout outs. Listen, we have Hair by Tatiana, Latressa A. Crawford, Executive Life Coach,
Yeah.
DJ Johnny Prince, DJ Services, Women Are Dope by Chelsea Speaks, I Can Beat MS, and The Plush Lab. And for more information on these businesses or sponsorships, visit IG's The Mailroom 7671 page. And if you would like to be a sponsor or have your business shout out, email me at ygm7671 or DM me and we'll get you connected. So listen, we're gonna switch gears. We're still talking about the side chick,
Okay.
yeah, but we're gonna talk about the other side chick.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna talk about this. LaRon, you have the hey Tatiana.
yeah,
How
it's up
you
there.
doing? Let me pull up the video of the other side chick that
That's
we're
my sister.
talking
She
about
crazy.
today. Which is yeah, she crazy. She I don't know which is
Pom, pom, pom.
which
No,
is
no, my
worse.
sister Tatiana, she's crazy. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, what you say?
She
I
crazy.
ain't say it, Tatiana.
I ain't
I
got
didn't
no
say
side
that you
chick.
were
I got a side
crazy.
dude.
I didn't say it. That was Prince that said it. So remember that face. Oh no.
Interact with the phone more than we interact with any other human being, including our own spouses sometimes.
So many complaints of people. There was a sister who said, my husband comes from work and he's on his phone. He speaks to me perhaps for a few minutes in the day. He's on his phone and he just doesn't get off the phone. He brings it to the table, he takes it to the toilet, and he does everything, just his phone. And I told her, I said, sister, have you tried talking to him, telling him, look, it's too much. You're on your phone all along. And she says, he can't hear me. He doesn't hear me. Unless I make some content and, come onto his phone. He might see me on the phone, but he's not going to see me in real life. So she decides, some time later, she contacted me and said, you know what, we had a big problem. I said, why? She said, because I decided to do the same thing. And so I was on my phone all the time and he's on his phone. When he came home, I didn't even respond. And then when he started saying, why are you on your phone all the time? I told him, all along you've been on your phone and you expected me to ignore it. I'm on my phone just now because I want to prove something to you. And here you are exploding. Don't you understand? But this is a reality. Anyway, their problem was solved after some time where they reached an agreement.
All right.
Hey, can we at first acknowledge that his beard game was on point?
Man, that dude's beard was nice. I thought I was the only one, but I was like,
I thought he was an AI when I first saw it. And I'm like, real?
Like, that brother's barber is doing the Lord's work right there.
Yeah. Beer game. Y'all better get y'all stuff together. Y'all better get the deals together.
Let me get it. Let me say, see what I'm talking about, baby.
Hey,
what? Looking back.
It's not anything bad. It's funny with us, but I joke with my wife all the time because we always be playing with wood all the time, and I get jealous because she be playing with wood and not me because she be on her game. And she be
I thought you was talking about your wood. Hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm like,
it would be nice,
bro. I'm like, is we just having a normal conversation? And like, he just threw it in there like I was watching dishes. Like,
Ryan, you about to get me cut off.
Yeah. And he's complaining about it? Like, you upset? Like,
it's a game out. It's wood pieces, and I have to say, man,
it's the monochromatic Tetris. That's what it is.
Yo,
you gotta make it plain, bro. You gotta. You can't just throw that out there, bro.
Yeah.
Land the plane, brother. Land the plane, brother. Because you have me like, what?
But the phone, the devices, tablet. Yeah. I'm guilty of it. Me and Chef, we're in this space that that we're in with the whole technology, all of that, because one, I do stay on my devices and right now, especially in the business, while I'm doing business, I'm on my computer. And I have to and we've had this discussion because I'd be like, you on your phone. And he'd be like, you on your phone too. And I'd be like, but I'm doing business. I got an iPhone. You ain't doing no business on a Samsung. You don't justify. So I'm like, I'm doing this, but it really,
what an iPhone got to do with it?
Come on now. Come on. Listen, y'all.
I'm just saying.
Listen, y'all.
iPhone, we can do everything on ours. What can y'all do?
Yeah. If you ain't got an iPhone,
we can do everything. We can do everything for about $500 less. Everything for about $500 less. That's basically what we can do.
That new sense.
Now you ain't never lied on that one. But and it is a problem. It is becoming a problem. So we've been trying to cut screen time because Screen Isha is the side chick for the both of us.
No doubt.
Like I can admit that for me, I would scroll like even if I'm taking a break. So like for me, when I wake up, I don't get on the phone at all. For like I get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and that's my prayer meditation time with God. That's my first time with Him. And then I even have my device set that I can't go on screen, until 7 or whatever. And so I'm making a conscious effort, not only for my personal, but for my relationship, because it is a problem. Like we stay on those screens, like and that's why I said Screenisha is the side chick right now for a lot of couples in relationships, because we stay scrolling and everything is, and not just on the devices, but when you think about TV, but you have your computer, your phone, I don't know.
Well, I
My
think
wife wakes up and pick the phone up when she get
You
ready
say
to go to
what?
bed. I have to snatch the phone from her sometimes. That hey, put the wood down. You can't be doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
oh the game. Okay, the
We're
game.
gonna have
Game,
to,
game,
we're gonna have
game.
to,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to
You
cut this
guys are
audio.
so bad.
Uh,
Oh my
we-
goodness.
we're gonna have to cut this audio and like play.
Can you
Just keep
just say
replaying. Put
the
the wood
the
down.
wood
Put the
the
wood down.
game?
The
Just the
The
game.
game.
game. Yeah, the game now. It's a
It
wood
sounds better when he
game.
said the wood.
I know, because I have it on my phone,
Oh god.
putting the pieces
Oh, so
together.
you be
Yeah,
playing with
it's
the
a
wood
wood
too?
game.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It sounds like playing with the wood. Okay, all right, that's good.
It's Tetris,
Yeah.
Oh
basically.
god.
Okay, all right.
Oh
And
god.
it,
No,
I mean, and you're distracted. But the thing about it, yeah, I saw that, Evelyn. I do have, I'm supposed to order that game, the Valentine's Day game. Yeah.
Yes.
And so we're having to bring out the conversation cards and things of that, and making it intentional date nights without phones, without devices, and so forth. So my question is, have y'all experiencing, or are y'all experiencing Screenisha the side chicks? And if you do, how are you
Well,
getting rid of them?
I'm on the phone often, but the difference between people like you and I, Tashawn, is that we know how to put the phone down. There's minutes we take, things that we're trying to do. I mean, with our companies that requires us to be on the phone.
Yeah.
Often. Well, me at least. I can't speak for you, but I know I'm on
Yeah.
the phone often. But I know how to put the phone down. But in a lot of
Yeah.
instances, a lot of other relationships, that is a main problem. People just don't know how to separate themselves from the phone. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
always have it on them, they're always on. So that is the main issue. How can we do that? Especially in a situation in a relationship, you just gotta
Yeah.
just put the phone down. You have to. There's something that you gotta do, that you gotta understand that this is
Set
hurting
those
y'all.
boundaries times.
Yeah,
Set up
you know what I
certain
mean.
Yeah.
times.
Give yourself those
when
boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. You gotta tell
when
yourself, listen,
The-
I'm gonna do this,
It was
and I'm not gonna pick the phone up. Go ahead.
Right.
also I think this is a perfect example of how interconnected people are in relationships, and how it's important for you to choose your relationship partner wisely, because you are yielded to their influence and they to yours.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a long time ago, I was dating this guy, and he had his phone glued right here all the
Mm.
time, all the
Yeah.
time. And he was really professional. He had two careers and a lot of noteworthy activity just in the community and things of that sort. So he had good reason to be on his phone often. I accept that, but I told him I am busy as well. That's why we don't get a lot of time together. So when we are together, I need you to turn that phone off.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
yeah,
And I
No
I
remember
doubt.
a specific conversation that we had. When I told him this, he said, I hear what you're saying. There's a, I'm showing up at your house at 6:45. There's a call that I'm looking for at 7 o'clock. Once I get that call, because it's important, I need to get that call. And after that, I will turn my phone off and it's me and you the rest of the night. And I said, okay. So we're small talking about the weather, about sports, about whatever else we're talking about. He gets this
Mm-hmm.
call at 7:02. He
Mm-hmm.
stepped away and he talked for a few minutes with that call. And when he came back into the room with me, when I say he stepped away, we were in the living room. He stepped to my kitchen and then he came back and he put his phone down and we just continued talking. And then
Mm-hmm.
it occurred to him, wait a minute, I didn't turn it off. He picked it up and turned it off on purpose while he
No
saw
doubt.
me looking at him. And that was how that went. So I
Okay.
tell that story to make the point that it isn't just always our own responsibility.
Yeah.
It's our consideration of the person that we're spending time with, or that
No doubt.
person who is there with us, that can help us to try and use in moderation the time that we're on our devices.
Agreed.
Yeah. When
Nah. Agreed.
when I was
So it's just
helping to
communicating
build a
with each other in regards to that and setting up those boundaries with each other.
Yes.
yeah when I was helping to build a internet radio station, most of the stuff that we did was online. We had to promote. We had to, we were looking for content. I had a show, so I was looking for content for the show. So it's you are doing work when
Yeah.
you're on your phone, but you have to understand that these devices are also curtailed to distract you, right?
Yeah.
Like they
Absolutely.
have people who have done the research to
Yep.
say, okay, if I have somebody swiping up, that will make them stay on the device
Yep.
longer than if they swipe left or right, right? So, and if we have a certain color scheme, that'll make them want
Yep.
to look at the screen long. Like we
Yep.
have to understand that it's not a inherent weakness in you that's making you um, want to look at these devices longer. They're
Oh, they
they
coming
it's
after you.
they're
You
doing it
know,
on
they,
Yeah.
purpose,
On
right?
purpose,
So
definitely.
Absolutely.
so you
Yes.
have to be intentional when it comes to I
Letting go
have
of it.
time with this person.
Mm-hmm.
I need to set aside that time and put my phone down. I don't need to be looking at Facebook while I'm talking to a person. Like the art of dialogue and conversation, um, it seems to be going by the wayside because people are allowing themselves to be more distracted. So you have to be intentional when you're trying to get to know somebody, when you're trying to talk to them, and be like, okay, let me put this phone down. Let me look you in the eyes. Like there's certain things that people are forgetting how to do. Like I'm gonna look
Yeah.
you in the eye when I talk to you.
Right.
Like
Right.
when I'm gonna listen to what you say, and then I'm gonna ask a follow-up question to what you said to
Right.
get more information about it. Like those things are like are skills that people are kind of losing because they're used to commenting
That's
and
right.
giving a take on somebody's a post or something like that. So you got
And
to be
they're
intentional.
also and
Skill,
they're also they've also become used to not being punched in the mouth for being disrespectful.
man. Come on
yeah.
Yeah.
now, come on, come
Come
on,
on
come
now.
on now,
Come on now.
because that's where I'm
Social
Come
from.
on now. For real.
social media has
For real.
become the epicenter of toxicity
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
people have an anonymity that they wouldn't have if
Right.
they were face to face. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
if I say something that someone doesn't agree with, they answer on social media and call me everything but a child of God.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
yeah,
if I was
yeah,
sitting across from them, there's no way they would do that.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah. No,
granted, I don't necessarily look like I can, hip toss 300 pounds,
you
but
scratch somebody out of that. You just,
With them
stab,
curls.
stab me
Shoot him.
10. Yeah, I can do that. But but the idea is as a part of that dialogue art that's being lost is just the common respect for other people's opinions, the respect for what other people have to say, just the consideration that that person speaking is actually a person, not an
yeah,
avatar, not a computer, not the internet. And it really
yeah,
bothers me when people say the internet is mean, the internet has done that, the internet
Right.
is this. Because
yeah,
if you think about the alphabet is inherently neutral. If you do good things with it, then it's good. If you do bad things with it, then it's bad. The internet is like the alphabet.
yeah,
If you do good things with it, then it can be used for good. That's what we're here for. But if you
yeah,
use it for bad things, then those bad things become a manifestation of your intent, whether it was online, in person, or through somebody else. So
Yeah.
when people say the internet is mean, they absolve that person from their choice in that bad action. And I think that's
yeah.
very dangerous as a society that we're saying people can do bad things and never in any way be held accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. No. No.
I want people to know that when I make statements that may offend, um, I am fully
Aware of it.
desiring the smoke,
Exactly.
right? Like
Yeah.
I'm the
like
same way.
I am
I'm the same
I
way.
am I mean exactly what I say. And if you say to me, well, I will kick your this, that, and the other, I get excited by that. That turns
Oh
me on.
man. Oh man.
I want that to happen. You know what I'm saying?
That's the Indiana you.
I got about 5 good fights left in me. About
Yeah,
5 of them, and
me too.
You
Me
just wait
I
to
too.
pull
wanna
them out.
I wanna spend them before they go. Before they go bad. So just know that I mean what I say,
That's why
and
I'm in the
and
gym, baby.
I'm saying exactly what I mean, and I am willing to stand on what I'm saying. That's just PSA. Just want to let people know.
And people really do take when those comments, I be watching the comments, and people really do go ham in on the comments.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there was I was fat shamed on TikTok by this lady because she got mad because I, as a teacher at that time, I'm like, listen, when they re-entered when they were letting when they were removing the mask, right? And I remember made a little TikTok. This lady came at me about the whole political sis. How would you? And then next thing I know, and I'm like polite. I say, hey, as a teacher, da da da, you shouldn't be doing this to the kids. You shouldn't be put like this was her tone, right? She even made like responding videos. How dare you make the children wear masks, this, that, another. And then, I said, okay, I backed off. Then next thing I know, the next one, she was like, how unhealthy you are, you fat. So,
Oh my goodness.
oh,
Oh my
so
goodness.
I
What my
was
girl
like,
said.
and she was
Yeah.
like,
Oh
and
my
you
god.
fat and unhealthy, and you're talking about health. I said, okay.
Oh my
So
god.
I politely say, hey, in public, I'll say, hey, black, brown, beautiful woman. I said, listen, I said, calling me fat at this age, don't do jack to me. Now, if you had called me fat back in high school, middle school, come with another. And I said, come with another insult. Like really, fat, calling me fat at this age, I'm 50. Calling me fat at this age, I'm 48, 49.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so, and I said, hey, so we resorting to, and I made a public video. I said, so we're resorting into name calling over what? Over mass mandated mask.
Oh
I said, I'm not
man.
agreeing or disagreeing with, like, I literally stayed calm in the situation. But the fact was that you become so comfortable in bullying people over these devices. And she came back and publicly apologized for her comment because it's like, you're all in your emotions or whatnot. All of this stuff, it doesn't, but for you to start being bullied, to be a bully and then call me fat, girl, bye. I'm like,
You
shoot,
you
That's
you
why
ain't
you
the
you
gotta
most.
handle
apply.
that in such a professional way. You
Yeah,
handle
I
that
yeah,
so
definitely.
well.
I
Me,
did.
I've
I
been
did.
like,
My
there's a
sister now,
Walmart
I
on
give them
Lafayette
the
Road.
address.
Yeah,
Meet
now
me.
Meet
my
me
I,
out
sister
back.
at 3 o'clock.
jumped
I'll be
on.
there. I've done this before. I'm telling you, I've done this before. At 3 o'clock, I'll
Listen,
be at this Walmart. Look for this color car. Come talk to me.
I would
I
have
Come tell
was
found
me something
some
like,
nice.
sort of
come
flaw she
on.
got.
But my sister, who's a Gemini, which, sometimes,
Oh Lord have mercy.
she jumped
Yeah,
on.
she was
I
ready
had to
for war.
delete her because she like
Yeah,
you, Mark.
she was ready
She's
for
like,
war.
where you at? She was like,
Yeah,
where you at? Because what you not gonna do?
we
I
ain't
was like,
talking more.
I was like,
Hmm.
Lisa, it's not that serious. She don't do that. I said, Lisa, it's not that serious. Just let it
Oh
go.
my
And
god.
so I was like, because if you start jumping back on my
Shout
sister
out
now,
to
I
Lisa.
can't fight. But
Yeah,
but it was just the audacity that people do get behind the screens and the keyboards, and they become ignorant. And it's like, come on, people. It's first of all, you can't talk, and this
No,
is the
people can't
boldness
talk.
that
no, they
yeah,
can't.
people can't talk,
That's
and
the
it's just
issue. And that's the
yeah,
issue with social media. You people, it is a safe place to be ignorant, stupid,
yep.
non-accountable. You don't got to be accountable
Yeah,
on social media. You know what
you
I'm saying?
don't.
So
It's
now when you
reality TV on there now.
it's exactly
Yeah,
So when you dealing with an actual person and actual people, actual people, and you're not none of those things. You're emotional. You fly off at the mouth. You ain't got to be accountable. You're gonna get handled in a manner. You're gonna get punched in your mouth. You're gonna get knocked
yeah.
out. You're gonna get
They
hurt.
people who
Yeah,
grew up fighting don't they don't go looking for fights, but
Not
they will
exactly,
fight.
but they
Right.
will
yeah,
fight.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, I
those aren't the
agree.
same people who will be, on there.
Right,
People, if I was in front of you, I
right.
smack the stage. Okay, well, come on down to the Piggly Wiggly,
That's right.
And do it.
That is right, Stephanie. You're right, Stephanie.
Yeah, Stephanie, it does. Screenisha, gives a lot. And I'm just not referring to Screenisha as a female. I want to make that clear because I don't want nobody coming at why she gotta be a girl. Why she gotta be that?
Shut up.
Look,
It could be
Screen
anybody. It could be
Screen.
anybody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know,
It don't roll off the tongue like Screenisha.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? Y'all deal with it.
It's a
Because-
Screechon. It's a Screechon too.
Because a lot of dudes get behind and they be calling. I be watching the guys like they be like, yo, I've seen guys call other men, BANs and all of this. I'm like, dude, are y'all serious?
And I
Like-
Men are worse. Men are
I'm not-
worse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell
Men are
you,
for real
men are
worse. Yes.
Yeah.
That is the point to which I was speaking earlier when we dealt with the idea that young women are socialized in a certain way, and then it looks like men aren't socialized that same way. In a lot of respects, they are, because that toxicity does not have a gender, but what you cultivate. So when you have movies like Mean Girls that renew every 20 some odd years, yes, you expect for them to do that, but the same type of toxicity is being imparted male to male through other means.
Yeah.
And they are just as it's not even deleterious at this point. We know that it's causing problems. We know that it's not healthy. We know that the outcome is not going to be positive as it would have been in past situations. I was just thinking about this the other day, how enabled society has become in doing these things stems from one pivot point. When I was little, we grew up by this concept called don't shoot the messenger. When people say stuff that you don't like, whatever they said is not their fault if it's true.
Yeah.
Deal with what that truth is without being upset at the person who delivered that truth to you. Now, if people hear something that they don't like, they feel empowered to attack the person who said it. Just like the woman that Tashawn was describing a minute ago. You shouldn't make the children wear these masks. The masks were her problem. That's what she was complaining about. But why did that need to become a personal attack on the person speaking about masks?
Right.
That whole transition from dealing with the issues to dealing with the person is part of why society exists in the condition that it does today.
Thank you very much. I agree.
That happens in person to person communications also. Like there are people who don't know how to communicate. Then when you have a conversation with them and you critique something that they say or they do, then all of a sudden they want to attack personally because they don't know how to effectively communicate. Every time you say something about them, it feels like an attack. Every time you assess something, hey, this isn't the best thing, you could possibly do this better. Oh, well, why are you always trying to tell me what to do and da 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 da. So it's an emotional immaturity and an inability to communicate. And if you teach your children how to communicate effectively, then they become adults that can communicate effectively. And every time somebody levies not an accusation, but just a critique, then they don't have to go off the rails and act like that person's taking a personal attack.
Listen, Cat Williams proved to the world. Cat Williams proved to the world
that dude came out fine.
All you gotta do to bruise somebody's ego, if they bruise their pride, tell the truth. That's all you gotta do. Everybody, and the funny thing about that is that I have not heard not one time so far yet that somebody said he's wrong. Everybody attacked him.
They have not said that he was wrong. They said some things, but they didn't say he was wrong.
Right. Correct. They didn't say he was wrong. So that's how you know you're dealing with the emotional world.
Ludacris told him in a rap.
No, that's no.
It was not him saying that he was wrong.
The man accused you of going into a gay club. He confirmed that you was in there.
To get that deal.
When was the last time we saw Ludacris with them sideburns? When?
In
So all of a sudden you
Luda's
come out with a rap
defense,
with the sideburns on?
in Luda's defense, how many clubs in Atlanta aren't gay clubs? Like how, like you know what I'm saying? Like how
Every
many
one of them,
clubs
all of them.
can
I was
you know what I'm saying?
wondering. Yeah.
Like throw a rock and you're gonna find a gay club in Atlanta. You know what I mean?
mean,
So
I
Because
know that
you know
that
why?
main one on was a beat Bulldogs. I know that one. I don't know about the other one.
it's
I know
called
that
Bulldog.
was
Bulldog or it's full of Bulldogs. Which one?
it's called it's that name,
Oh,
but it's
oh,
called
Hey, Wood
it's
everywhere.
oh, wow. Hey. Yeah, look.
right, Tressa.
Oh my.
Effective communication isn't taught.
No,
It
just
is
for the
not.
chat.
I
It's
mean,
just
we do.
yeah.
We get the balls. We get the gauze to go on and we oust everyone. Now, I'm not saying I agree with Kat. I'm not disagreeing with Kat, but we get little. We get in there and we're like
We
we're
don't
gonna
have to
tell
agree.
everybody.
It's the
But
truth.
this
What
is
he
my
saying?
thing with
You
Cat.
ain't got to agree with the truth. Truth is
Everybody
the
say
truth.
that he was
Yeah.
wrong. They say they shouldn't allow him to do that. But my thing is, those people before him is what started it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you coming and you're like stroking your ego, pretty much saying I'm this and I'm that, and always. And what my thing is with social media, people tend to go after, like with you, Sean, go after what they think is a weaker point of view instead of the main source.
Yeah.
Cause you ain't say nothing about it's not your fault that you put the mask on or you're
Right.
wanting to keep the mask on. The government said put the
Right.
mask on. So why aren't you in the front of the White House with your
Right.
picket knife or whatever, and
Picket sign.
Yeah.
fork or whatever, and going after the government. So I just think that it was a defense on him to just say, "Hey, I'm not tied up in the stuff that y'all are tied up in, and I can speak and walk my truth. Y'all can't."
But
And
this is my issue with that.
That's the truth. They can't. Steve
It
Harvey
may be
can't.
some truth because he exaggerated on a lot of stuff. He
He
did
did.
exaggerate some stuff.
Not a lot.
But we also have to
Hyperbole.
understand that
He
it
did
was
though.
a marketing marketing
yeah,
tool. He
all of
made bukus of money from that. He
17-100 city shows.
strategized,
Who else
huh?
did
Everybody's
that?
still talking about it.
17 still
100
talking about
city
it.
tours. Who else did that? Who else did that?
Right. He has his tour that's coming out, and he brought all these people on his tour. He already to me also it's a marketing tool, for Shannon. His like we said before, is shot up. They making money. Cat made
This is a
more
great.
money.
This is a great podcast anyway. But I'm glad he did
Right.
that on that.
Yeah, because when you look at him and they've been saying the same thing, but he didn't go and oust everybody like that either, too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he
I
didn't.
think
He
like
didn't. Yeah.
the difference being
Right.
like Cat Williams. Cat
Right.
Williams is black famous,
Yeah. Yeah.
but while Steve Harvey and them are trying to be universally famous, they
Right.
want to be famous to white folks and black. So when they get like their mindset is when I get to a certain echelon, then I'm
Yeah.
gonna button up my tie. Like Cedric ain't gonna say the same jokes that he said when he was on Comic View. You know,
Right.
Steve Harvey ain't gonna do the same material that he was doing when he was younger.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Cat Williams is still doing the same kind of joking, like because he's talking to black people. His audience is black people.
Right.
So if
Yeah.
he had nothing to lose because
Yeah.
he's not pushing to like comedians.
I
The
still
blueprint
think
for
he's saying it in
comedians
the
to
white
to
folks too, though.
No, he
well,
did.
Cat Williams he don't mind white folks, but his audience isn't white
Yeah. His
folks. His
audience is
audience is
not
black
white
folks.
like that. Yeah.
So like the blueprint for comedians was you get on stage, you do well, you get a TV, you do a special that does well, you get a TV show, then you start doing movies. Eddie Murphy, Kevin Hart. That's the blueprint.
Yeah.
Cat Williams hasn't shown that he's trying to do that same blueprint because when
Yeah.
you get to the doing the movies and stuff, You can't offend white people. You
I
can't
was
you
gonna
can't
say,
tell them
yeah,
white people
and
jokes.
that's what my point
You know?
was. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not wrapped up in that money that y'all wrapped up in, so I
Right.
can say and walk the way I want to walk and have no
Yeah.
problems. Ain't nobody taking nothing from me. I ain't got to worry
Yeah.
about nobody pulling my contract
That's what he's
or
saying.
whatever
Yeah.
Right.
because I'm making my own money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Meanwhile, your
we
boy Steve made tens of millions of dollars off the idea of a woman acting like a man and thinking like a late, like come on now, like nobody
They
ain't say
ate it
nothing
up
about
too.
tens of millions of dollars.
They
That
ate
man
it
is
up.
Well, I got my
wealthy
book, so
because of
what?
that.
I
And he
got
was
my
eating it
book.
up.
It's
I'm
right
a
there on my
I'm gonna
shelf.
talk
Think
like
like a
I'm gonna act
man.
like a man. I'm gonna think like a man. I'm gonna talk like okay. All right.
now
All
All
look
right.
right, okay.
Okay.
I got
when
my
that
book.
when that notion first became publicized, it was ridiculous to me in some
Yeah.
facets
Mm-hmm.
because I okay, this is a confession right here.
Uh
This
oh.
is a confession right now. Everybody just buckle
What
in and
Usher
get
at?
ready.
What Usher? Hold up, play Usher right quick.
Wait a minute. Before you do that, before the
Uh-huh.
break, before the confession, hold on, y'all. Hold
Okay.
on. We gotta
Okay.
take a
Okay.
quick pause. Oh shoot,
Okay.
where is it? Hold on. Because
Yeah.
I gotta make sure I got something in my cup. Hold on.
She about to spill it all right. I got to hear
You
my
about to
friend
spill it
did.
all. I wanna get this. I wanna get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Look,
First on
I can't even
TMR.
find it. Evelyn, hold on. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh God.
The mail room, I be tuned in. Listen in to Tashawn, she be going in.
Y'all.
Black queen for us black kings. We can learn a thing or two when we're locked in. One of the few places we can be heard.
Facts,
Man, I rocks with her, that's my word. The show is enlightening, engagement always enticing. I always come with an open mind, I'm never frightened. Guaranteed to walk away with minerals. Now that I'm thinking everything else is minuscule. We're the fools who don't protect black women. No arguing, disrespect, and that's it.
y'all.
Please come in peace when you call in. Cause our friends ain't no slouch, fair warning. The mail room, messages from him. Y'all better listen if you wanna win. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in.
And we are back. And again, this is the mail room messages from him podcast. And if you would like a business shout out or
Yes.
commercial, hit us up and we'll get you on here. We're also looking for sponsors for the mail room. So if you would like to be a sponsor of the mail room, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. All right. So
That's right.
before we took that quick break in our commercial until we get Evelyn was going to look at Mark. Oh wait a minute, I got y'all muted. Look, we were taking our little commercial break and so forth. But before we left, I got me something in my cup. It's water though. But go ahead, Evelyn. What's your confession?
Go ahead.
On
These
the
are my
idea of
confessions.
Steve Harvey's book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, when that
Mm-hmm.
notion first became prevalent in society, to be honest with you, my confession was you all are really overthinking this completely.
Mm-hmm.
I have been told that I think like a man almost my entire life.
Mm.
And the idea behind that was what I began to hear people mean when they said that was this. I have a very logical approach. I'm very analytical, very methodical, very procedural in certain types of ways that certain things are applied. So it didn't bother me at first. It was funny. It was a joke. Oh, you think like a man, said so many women. And when people began to say that over and over again, it started to bother me after a while because I felt like they were insinuating a logically thinking woman is so far out of character for her that in order for a woman to be that logical, she's acting like a man.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I felt like that was, I didn't know how to explain to them at that time how how much heresy that is. So now with this whole new concept about, new concept with the book Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, do these things and be feminine outwardly, but be as conniving and backstabbing as the guys are so that you don't get your relationship all confused.
Yeah.
I laughed genuinely when people started to say he's been divorced all these many times. What does he talk about relationships for as often as he does? I read the book because I wanted to see
It's
what
his
was in
wife who needs to make a book.
it.
Mm.
Cause to come
And
up.
See, that's what I'm talking about,
I
coach. See, you ain't delayed off of that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that
That's
wasn't delayed.
out of here.
yeah, and I'm
That was right on time.
that was right on time. Yes, that was right on time. Now, for his content, while I do agree that more women should apply logic where they leave themselves left and driven by emotion, I don't know that his application of it was the most efficacious for men or women, especially not as they interrelate with each other.
We know exactly what he meant when he said "think like a man." Come on now, let's cut it. I hear what you're saying, Daryl.
But did we
I hear what
really
you're
though?
saying. I hear what you're saying, right? And it's good. See, first of all, women are automatically logical. They just choose to remain in a certain energy. Women are not stupid. Women are highly logical. Y'all, there is so much that y'all are able to bear that we can't. Right? Y'all have a certain type of logic that is unmatched. That is we. Let's start there. All right. He was talking about doing what men do.
Mm-hmm.
The
Doing what
perception
men
of what
do.
men.
Think like a lady and do what men do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
will
Yeah,
get
and
I
further
think they
that way.
kind of doing
But you
that.
You'll
can't.
get
I
further that
didn't.
way.
I think
That's
they
what he
That
was.
kind of
was.
going that direction now. If you think about it, cause
Well, see, the problem is if you're being a man. So now you take the idea of doing what a man does, and now you're okay. So you're left with what? You're a
the
woman.
reason. The
You're a
reason that
lady.
I'm
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
sorry. Good, no, good.
The reason that I felt that that was as harmful and dangerous as advice as it was
Mm-hmm.
is that most of the time when women act like men, they're acting like the worst of him. They're
Oof.
acting like the worst that he can do. He's
I
sleeping
agree.
around and now she wants to.
I
He's
agree.
making all this money and keeping it to
Yeah,
himself, not
that's the
sharing
point
it.
I
Now
was
that's
trying to
what she
make.
wants
That's
to do.
yeah.
exactly what
She's
they.
always doing the worst of
That's
what
what I'm
he's
saying.
doing.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
agree.
not healthy for him and it's really not
Yeah.
healthy for her. The
Right.
problem is society accepts it from him and condemns it for her. It reveals a different layer of the same problem.
There's a double
Hey,
standard. I
what
agree.
you say, Tressa?
I
Say
often
what
say,
you.
Coach said something else good. Say it, Trust.
I was saying, why act like y'all know I'm on this delay? But I was saying, why act like a man when you were created as a woman? Why act like a
Right.
man? Women are logical
Let me
creatures too. We're
let
highly
me
Right.
ask.
intelligent too. We have a different type. Now, our logic, we have a different way of thinking and pattern
Yeah.
of thinking than men who are also logical and critical thinking beings too.
As
But
well.
why
That's
do I
right.
have to think like this man when I was created as a woman and I have my own logic? I have
Come
my
on
own
now.
Right.
Yeah.
creativity. I have
Come
my
on now.
own. I mean, I just
Wait.
don't.
Oh,
I don't
hold
get
on,
that.
Johnny.
That
I
was a
don't
Don't
get
little
be
that.
bit.
Why can't
amening
I
to
think
somebody
like
saying they have their
a
own
woman and
logic.
still be
Don't do
a
that.
woman? What's wrong with
Okay.
Johnny and the Amen cry.
Right.
I got to call you out, bro.
Okay,
Don't.
wait,
I
wait.
got my own logic. Don't do that, Johnny. Be like, yeah, you got your
Here's-
own logic. No.
Here's
It's
the
one logic.
answer.
That's part of the
Here's-
problem, huh?
Here's the answer to that question. Here's the answer to
But
that
you know,
question.
I mean, as logic as left brain, right brain, there are different types of logic. You have the left
Yeah.
brain thinking,
No,
you have the
I
right
heard.
brain.
I heard.
Yeah, no,
I
yeah,
heard-
yeah, yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
So in that, and
And here's
so, yeah,
here's the
Yeah.
part of the part of
was
the
I
answer to
delayed with
question.
that?
No.
A little bit. A little
Girl.
bit. A little bit.
Go ahead, Whitney.
A part of the answer to that question, even if it was rhetorical, a part of the answer to that question is the things that are used to define masculinity are automatically attached to the male. And the things that are used to define femininity are automatically attached to the female when those things don't necessarily have gender inherent value. For perfect example, earning money. Earning money is not male, it's not female. It's an adult thing that you need to do to provide for yourself, whether you're married or not. But all of a sudden, everybody in the world says that when a woman is making more money than the man, she's acting like a man because they've attributed the earning money to the masculine, even though it is inherently gender neutral. So, to your question, people want to, you ask, why do women want to act like men? Is that really what she's doing? Or is she accused of that because society wants to structure gender in such a way that any deviation makes the other out of line? And that's a control factor more than it is a statement regarding the propriety of her actions and control factor in general.
Okay.
And the other thing I
think-
wanted to say about that is, as far as logic is concerned, this
Yeah.
logic question, then we get back to Screen Isha and Screen Sean. This with the logic thing, I proffer to you all today that logic is not as objectively structured as most people think it is. And let me show you why. Logic is a prescribed outcome given a set of input circumstances. So if those input circumstances change, what is logical as an outcome also changes. Let me give you an example. Flowers. Everybody has seen flowers. If you water a flower and you give it sunlight and you feed it, it is logical that that flower will grow. If you have the same flower and you don't give it water, you don't feed it, you don't give it sunshine, it is logical that that flower will die. So in one set of circumstances, what is logical is one thing, and in the opposite set of circumstances, what is logical is the opposite thing. This is the area where a lot of men and women fight. A lot of men and women argue because her logic is considering a different set of circumstances than his. And he is not emotionally positioned to recognize the input factors of her logic because he's the one who logic is attributed to. So in his own mind, his logic is right and hers is just wrong.
That's a wrong analogy for that. That's a wrong analogy because that logic has nothing to do with the growth of that flower. That's this knowledge. If you know
I'm talking about the prescribed outcome. If you do a certain set of things, you expect a certain set of things to happen. When you do a different set of certain things, you expect a different set of certain things to happen. And by that application, both things are logical, even when they yield the opposite result.
So let me offer this, because I partially agree, but I'm gonna say 60-40. Disagree in this way.
Bring the smoke. Come on, bring the
in
smoke.
this way, right? So I've had a lot of different jobs. One of them was being a bouncer. I'm big, so flew right into that job. But the thing that I always find out is that the most aggressive and most illogical of the patrons that we had to deal with were always young women. A guy would see a guy who's bigger than him, who's saying, "Hey, brother, I need you to calm down, all right? Because we trying to have a good environment here." And he might say something else, but he's gonna bring it down, right? A little 5'2", 110-pound girl, you can say the exact same thing to, and she's looking. See, look, I got the stats off of Google, but you
But
you'll say the same thing too, and she's gonna try and grab a bottle, or she doesn't care. Like the cops are there, she doesn't care.
Yeah, she don't
People
care. That's
got
what I'm saying.
guns trained on her, she
Let
doesn't
me
care.
let me do
If
this.
that's not logical,
Yeah, that's not
that is
logical.
emotional.
That's
No,
emotional.
and
that is
what are
emotional.
what
I've
are
been
you
there, done that.
considering? What are you considering her input factors? If her input factors are all emotional, then that's what becomes logical for her to do.
Yeah, but if it's illogical, just because it's her, that's why I was getting on Johnny for talking about, yeah, everybody got their own logic. No, they don't. Don't do
No, they
that.
don't. You're
Don't
right.
don't
You're
do
right
that.
about that.
You if
My
if
You're
if
right about that.
somebody pulls a
My
gun
bad.
on you, then it's logical to believe that they're going to pull the trigger and your life is going to end. It's not logical to believe that you're going to be able to go into the matrix mode and dodge the bullet
Mm.
because you're so upset, or somehow you got
to
extra
go
anger or something like that. That's
to go
illogical. You might
to
think you
go that
can.
far. To go that far is wrong. I'll agree with you. Going that far is
Yeah.
wrong. But
So
suppose one input factor is that the one of the people who doesn't shriek from the gun. What suppose one
mm,
of the input factors is the other person in the room knows the gunman. So the
yeah.
person who knows the gunman has an
Hmm.
input factor that's going to determine what's logical for them to do, that's going to be different from what the person who doesn't know the gunman will think is logical.
No, you make no,
That's
girl. No, listen.
that's
No.
where wisdom comes into play, right?
Right.
So let
If
me tell a story that is that's close to home and that's not funny at all, and it's just to belay the
Mhm.
point that sometimes logic has to take precedent over how you feel or what you think. My niece,
I always agree
there's
with that, by the way.
yeah, yeah, my niece in Michigan, her she was dating this guy. It was a toxic relationship. Me and my sister had just talked about it. We were talking about, hey, we're gonna pray that she gets through this patch in her life and she recognizes, how she needs to love herself and stuff like that. My niece was recording. Her name is Isis Mackey. She was shot by her boyfriend while she was on live. The dude was loading his gun, talking about, I'm gonna shoot you. And she was like, no, you ain't. Now, this is a guy she had been dating. And she assumed that because one, she had her phone recording, and two, they had been in a relationship and they'd been together, that he was trying to scare her and he ended up killing her. So not that I'm saying that she lacked intelligence, and very intelligent girl, but there's points where your emotions make you illogical, and
Right.
you project what you think somebody will do,
Right.
or how you think the outcome will be, instead of what a logical conclusion will be. So
This
I won't say that women are illogical. I was raised by too many women who taught
Right.
me logic for me to say
Right.
that women are illogical. What I'll say is when an emotional stimulant is added, whether it's anger, whether it's embarrassment, whether it's hurt, when an emotional stimulus is added, I've seen women react more illogically than I've seen men react. Like a dude
I
can
did too.
cuss me out, but if he got a gun trained on me, I'm gonna let him cuss me out. You can call me whatever you want to because you
Mhm.
got that gun on me. Now, if you don't have a gun on me I'll keep using guns. I'm from Gary. I'm sorry, but
Yeah. Yeah. I
if
can relate.
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, if I see that there's some threat to my life, that the logical decision is to let him have it, let him go
Right.
ahead and disrespect me and keep my life. Maybe I can catch him later on or something like that if that's
Mhm.
what I'm going to do.
yeah,
I
yeah,
have seen where, in that same kind of scenario, a woman would continue to aggress because she's so angry that she can't think that, okay, this is going to end bad for me. That
yeah.
usually happens later. Like, girl, why you saw her with a
Yeah.
baseball bat? Why you run
Yeah.
up on? I was just mad. Okay,
Okay.
Yeah,
so
that
now
is
you
I've
got a
true.
lump on your head.
I've
That is
actually
true
heard men
because
say that as well. And
yeah,
what I'm saying is I agree with everything that you're saying. I agree
Hmm.
that if somebody has a gun, it could matter less whether or not you know them based on what you think they might do, because that gun becomes the fulcrum. That gun
Yeah.
becomes the deciding factor. I
Yeah.
recognize that.
Yeah.
What I am saying is that logic does not mean the same thing to everybody. And when you
Yeah.
assert that certain things are illogical, you're imposing a structure that is definite when it's not always definite. And that's where the conversation comes in. Now I have to say this, just in recognizing the different temperature of the conversations here. If somebody does have a gun to my face, I'm not going to say, hey, I got this book I need you to read about what you might be doing that for. No, I'm not going to do that.
Right. Yeah.
But when we're talking face to face, sitting down, I'm telling you that this flower has died. I'm telling you that these are circumstances, and you just don't want to hear them because you don't respect what I'm saying enough to listen to me. What needs to happen is that the attitude toward what's being changed, the attitude toward what's being said has to be changed. And
Mhm.
therein is the higher need for the consideration of what logic is to one person versus what it is to somebody else.
Yeah.
Mark, I remember being at Dugan's, the one they just closed on what you call it, and and I admit I was not thinking, I was acting in my emotions, and it was a guy and a girl in their car, and I was trying to cross the parking lot or whatnot. Didn't have anything to drink or anything because I just didn't, but the girl was yapping off at the mouth in the car with her dude, but she was leaning out the window, telling me to hurry up. First of all, you were going fast in the parking lot. You were wrong. But
Mhm.
I remember standing there when that car hit, like got towards me like this, right? And I remember standing in front of the car and I faced the car. I
Hands
wasn't
on your
thinking.
hip.
And I was like,
You
yeah,
just gonna hit me?
I was doing this right with my purse, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
and she was talking out the side of her neck. I was standing there and I was talking. The guy was like, you better move, da 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 da. But I continued to argue, right? Not thinking like these two could literally pull something out and shoot me in the middle of, because it was that type of crowd that day.
Mhm.
Or they
And
could just
I'll
run you
run you
over.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
like they in
yeah,
could.
run me over, right?
a
But I was
two-ton vehicle. Yeah.
right, and I was not thinking of that, right? And I remember I was dating this police officer at the time, and he
Ironic.
and I was
That's why
telling
she
him
wasn't
what
worried.
happened, right? And he looked at me and he said, "You stood in front of the car and you argued with two people in the car." And I was trying to make my point. I was like, "But yeah, they were running." He said, "You stood in the middle in front of the car." He said, now, granted, they were wrong for what they were doing, but he said, but you stood in the middle of the parking lot in front of their car. And I said, and yeah, what?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But I
Like that's
wasn't,
instantly how what guys are going to like. We're going to think about the fact, and I say guys generally.
The
There's
safety net.
yeah,
always
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
vectors or whatever,
yeah,
but I'm saying guys generally are going to be like, hold on, did you move to the side before you was called for?
right.
No, you just stood right in front of the
And
bumper.
that's what he said.
Like
And
okay,
he asked me that question about 3 or 4 times. He said, I want to get this straight. He said, even as a police officer, he said, you would have been wrong if they had if they had ran you over or started shooting. He said, because you stood in front of the car. And for me, I still didn't understand what he was saying. Because in my
yeah,
mind, I'm like, but they were yapping off at the mouth, da 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 da, this, that, and the other. But I was trying to get my point across. I wasn't
yeah.
thinking logical. And we do, like, I know for one, I have acted emotional. Like, I have, been in those
There, there's
situations.
there's no more emotional or like divisive type of situation when it comes to
Yeah,
men to women than like say a scenario um, where your woman, your wife is asking you, do you want to go to the movies? And the guy's
yeah,
like, yeah, we can go. And she's like, well, what do you want to go? Yeah, I said we can go. Yeah,
yeah,
but you don't act like you want to go. Like to guys, that is like the pit of hell. That's like,
Yeah.
get me out of here. Like I
Right.
like I
Right.
said yes. Leave me alone. Why are you what? Yes, let's go. And so you want me to put on a performance, my dear? Would you please accompany me to the No, we like,
I
okay, yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm. I
No,
can
we
go
just
on
But
and
want you to
say,
say yes.
Oh,
Not
listen,
with that
I did say yeah.
lie. You know,
Oh, yeah,
we
I did
know
say
that
it.
now.
but here's like she's
No.
saying, is it, are you coming because I'm dragging you or because you
Lord have
actually want
mercy.
this? So
Lord
I
have
can
mercy.
see that question, but it's funny the
Guys,
way you said
we
that's the
never
pit of
think
hell.
about that. We never think about that.
No.
Like
And
if
you
I ask
should.
you,
That's
yeah,
my point.
no, you
Yes,
shouldn't. It's like the
because
argument
that
of
is
leave the toilet
where
seat up or
her
leave the toilet
thought
seat down.
is. Now that's a
Leave the
whole
toilet
different
seat up.
discussion. That's a whole
No,
different discussion.
Listen,
the
That is a
the
whole
hinge
different
works
discussion.
up. The hinge goes up just like it goes down.
That's right.
You
That's
could
a
be
whole
as
different
considerate
discussion.
and leave the hinge up just like you want us to be considerate to leave the hinge down. You know,
Exactly.
it's not
And the
it's
toilet paper
we don't think
rolling up or
about
down. What about that?
definitely bottom, definitely bottom.
Yeah.
But no, like as far as guys are concerned, we don't. I think we don't attribute like emotional connection to all these different like decisions. It's like, oh, okay, we got some time later on. You want to go here? Cool. Every time I'm with you, I'm going to have a great time. So it's not like I have to be emotionally ready to go to Menards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you want to go? Okay, cool. We'll go to Menards. Like the thought process of yeah, but you don't seem like you want to go is not something that guys think about. Like if we asking you if you want to go out to eat and you all like, yeah, we can go out to eat. Cool. End of discussion. We're gonna go. Right. It's not, but do you want to go out to eat? Or are you just saying yes to me
Stop
And
asking us
asking you to
For
that
go?
these
question.
for these
Stop
examples.
asking us that question. We
listen,
do want to eat. We don't know what we want to
Right.
eat.
We just gonna tell you where we're going.
Just take
No,
us.
For
I
for
found a workaround. But go ahead, Evelyn. I found a workaround. Keep that in mind.
okay, I was just gonna say, for the point of what I'm making, when you say to the woman what you thinking about, I never think about, that is a communicative impasse because she's trying to be genuine with you and you're considering it the pit of hell.
No,
So
no,
when
no.
you're coming together and having this
no.
conversation, that is that is exactly why I'm saying expressly that logic does not always result in the same thing for everybody, even though we present it as very structured. And before we get away from this too far, yes,
Latressa, yeah.
Latressa said a few minutes ago that when people are going back and forth about certain things, it contributes to screen time. Screenisha.
Definitely,
It
definitely,
does.
And
definitely.
screenshot. I
Definitely.
didn't want to leave that she said that
No,
because it was
definitely.
a very
Yeah.
pertinent point. And
It definitely
um,
does.
last thing I wanted to say about screenshot.
Screen Sean. Screen Sean.
When I'm switching it to screenshot. When I first read the title of the topic today, Screenisha the side chick, do you know what I really thought that was going to be about? I thought that discussion was going to be about men and their activity of liking Instagram pictures. And that goes toward the whole, are you cheating on me? Why are you liking her pictures? And that whole discussion. That's where I thought we were going.
That's the next one.
But
That's the next.
okay.
That's the next episode. We're gonna be talking. Well, not this. It's the episode coming up because that is a problem.
Is that
is a
Screenisha
problem.
also? Or is
Yes,
she somebody else?
Yes, it is. Because you ain't got no business liking that little half heifer, that half
What
naked
does
heifer.
what does a like mean? What does
Exactly. What does a like mean, baby?
A
Come
like
on now.
mean that she gonna go into
I
your
don't care. You
DM.
can like it.
No.
That's where I thought we were going.
I
But,
love you,
no.
baby. I
So here's
like
the
you.
If you hit that like
I
and
just
if
like
you hit
that
that
picture.
love button and you keep hitting that screen, giving them hearts.
Oh my
No,
God.
but check it. Here's the workaround that I found. Fellas, listen up.
yes.
If you're asking your woman what she wants to eat, instead of asking her, hey, what do you want to eat? This is what you say, baby. Guess where I'm taking you today?
Yep. Yep.
And she's like,
okay.
Chipotle.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. I'm going.
how
Yep.
you know?
That's how you handle it.
Girl, you so smart.
That's how you handle it. That's
I
how you
love
handle it.
Chipotle.
Take notes,
I
fellas.
thought
Take
you were
notes.
going to say something else. where I thought you were going with that. I like that, but where I thought you were going with that. I've heard that if you give people choices, you make it easier for them. When you ask them things like, well,
not me.
Wait. What I was saying was, if a guy goes to his lady and say, "Do you want Mexican food or do you want Italian food?" That is the construct of what her response might be in. If that's, if those are her options, that's what she's thinking about versus Mexican, Italian, Mediterranean, soul food, whatever all else was a possibility.
We've tried it.
What I was going to say was, if that was where you were going, that is how you treat toddlers, and it does not work for adults. That's what I was going to say.
Nothing works. Nothing works.
And it doesn't work. I think, Mark,
nothing works.
Listening, Mark, I think that's a good way for y'all to, because Chef would do that. He'll be like, "What you want to eat?" And I'm like, and he'll say no wings, right? Because automatically I'm gonna go to wings. And he'll be like, "You want Thai? You want?" I'd be like, I don't know. And then so what he's been doing, like if we do go out, he'll like, "What do you want?" And I'm like, "Okay, go ahead and get my wings," right? He'll say, "Okay, is that what you want?" I said, "Yeah," but he'll come back with something right different, right? He didn't want to get, and I'm like, "Oh, so you want to go get you something like that? Like how you know I ain't want to say because you didn't say it." So, Mark.
That's what I mean by talking about that. That's what I mean by talking about.
When I say the pit of hell, this is what I'm. That's the stuff that I'm talking about.
This is why. See, this is why social media is so dangerous, right? Because to go back to the word logic, logic is logic. Logic ain't what it is. Logic ain't what you want it to be, right?
That's what I'm
logic
saying.
Is
that's
logic.
The point that
period,
I'm making.
Right? It ain't because you a man you think like this, and because you a woman your logic is different. No, logic is logic. Social media has made it different for us when it shouldn't be the case. It is the stupidest thing to argue with someone in their car, in front of their car. That is illogical. How do you want to look at it?
Listen,
what I'm saying. It is regardless of your input factor. Well, however you was raised to make you believe that it is okay to stand in front of a person with a gun pointed to you.
Said that.
I'm not saying that you said that. I'm not saying you said that. I'm saying it is because social media or whatever you believe feels it is okay, whatever input factor, right, that influenced you to argue with someone with a gun. That is just illogical for everybody, not just for because this is how I see logic.
Said that.
I know you didn't say that. I know you didn't say that. I'm just saying.
Look,
but that is a problem. You're right.
Emotion take over.
I want to say emotions.
Did emotion take over?
Emotions took over because I recognize.
That's what makes
you're right. You're right. Because for me, I recognize that I did have a problem with my emotions because I knew that that wasn't the only time as well, right? I argued with a police officer, DeKalb County. Y'all remember when I was telling y'all I was on probation in DeKalb because I was arguing with the police officer. I was like, "No, I'm not giving you my license. No, how So for me,
could you imagine a guy, a black man? I'm saying, a black man. Can you imagine a black man telling a police officer, "We ain't gonna give you, we ain't gonna give them our life. We gonna pick our battles right there."
Right, because y'all are thinking right. And for me at that time, I wasn't thinking logic. I was thinking emotion because I'm like, first of all, you couldn't have stopped me because I saw you over there eating on your bike. That's what really made him mad. And then you want to come and give me a ticket? And he was a black officer. So he was like, "Listen, not today. Just give me a license." I'm like, "No, I'm not giving you." So when I look back on it, I was acting in my emotions. I was not thinking at all. I wasn't thinking about, and this is when the climate, regardless if we in Metro Atlanta area, as he was a police officer, he was in authority. So for me, I had to go back. I didn't like and I know this is gonna be another topic. I didn't like the authority of a man. And I can be honest with that. I was not trying to have, I don't care what position you had, I don't care if you had a gun on your hip, I don't care what you could do. if I said no, that's what I meant. And I did not give you, but it did cost me. I was on probation.
Oh Lord.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a
I was
question?
on probation.
You in the cab.
This question.
Just get a license.
This
Just give him a
question.
license.
Hey, my name is
Go ahead.
now Toby. I live in the cab. My name now Toby.
This question is for the ladies.
Yeah, go ahead.
Guys, of course, you can chime in.
Okay.
But this question is for the ladies. From the position that I have been often accused of thinking like a man, being logical and analytical and methodical and all of those types of adjectives, why don't you ever want to know what you eat? I am
Please tell us.
hungry.
Hold on. I don't even want to say anything. Please tell us. Please.
Woo, that's a good question,
please.
Trusty. You want to go first? Why don't we
Look,
want
I
to know?
know because I remember my ex
I'm
called
in
me
a
one
love
day.
affair with food. I always know what I want.
Yeah, Tressa will. Tressa does. She have to decide for me. She'd be like, "What you want to eat?" I don't know. She'd be like, "Let's cook these wings." I'd be like, "Okay."
Yeah, that's what I said. Hey,
know.
we're gonna go get some.
I don't know. That's a good
Okay.
question. Why don't I? You know what? I want to say, not to make it too deep, but I know there has to be a reason why. Because one, I am a foodie. I like the choices, right? But I am very indecisive when it comes to that for some reason. I don't know. I need to go talk to my therapist about that because it is a
Let me
problem.
say this. Let me say this. And this is I've heard a lot of women say this. I talk to a lot of women, y'all. I've heard a lot of women say this. They hate the fact that they're so emotional, which is why the term or that concept act like a lady, think like a man, because we have the ability to separate our emotions from decision making, from everything. We can be
With the
emotional.
food?
No,
Yeah.
we have the ability to separate our emotions from everything, right? That's where the logic come in at, right? So women struggle with that. That's why for you to think like a man, there is a high level of masculinity. Like if you want to think like a man on that capacity and being able to separate your emotion, right, from being able to make a decision, everything has somewhat such a high level of emotion. Like, I don't know what to eat. Whereas a man, you're like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get something to eat. I'm gonna grab something and I'm good. A woman is a project. A lot of things are a project to women. They just don't know because of so much emotion tied to it. Whereas a man, we can decide on whatever the case may be. Whatever it is, there is less emotion of it. And a lot of women hate that. They don't like that about themselves. That's why they would rather think like a man.
I think when it comes to
logic is not a women thing.
No. It's not a woman thing. No. But to a degree, it's not a woman thing. It's not a one thing. But my thing is, if you're acting like a man, precedes you. If that energy, right, is that, well, I'm not gonna let a man tell me anything. I have my own mentality. This is how I think. This is what I believe. Like there is no femininity in that. Whereas a man now. Right? I don't.
I disagree.
So
there's no softness in that.
Completely.
So when it comes,
there's no
here's
softness
the thing.
in that.
So
the problem with the notion of thinking like a man, it's always an outsider's view of what a man is or how a man thinks. That's why it's always flawed. Because like even if you listen to songs like acting like a boy, like I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna date girls and I'm not gonna care about I ain't gonna call them back. Listen. That is not how most guys think. Number one. Number two, it absolves the mindset that maybe maybe you're the problem. Maybe he's just acting that way towards you, or the guys that you date or choose are they act a similar way because you're attracted to a certain type of guy. That's the other thing. Also, when women attribute like acting like a boy or acting like a man or thinking like a man, they assume that men don't have any emotions. Like we don't have it. It's not that we don't have them. It's that we're not ruled by them. If I have the choice of flipping out and having my say and making sure my voice is heard, or making sure the job gets done, the project gets done, I'm going to make sure the project gets done because it's not as important for me to be heard or for them to understand where I'm coming from. Like with my ex-wife, I would ask her all the time, when you're disciplining the kids, why are you asking them why they did the thing that they did? I don't care. Only thing I need to know is, did you know you weren't supposed to do it? Yes. Okay. Well, come on here. Let's go ahead and handle this discipline. I don't need to know what your mindset was behind doing the thing. That it's because, and I said, because you're not going to feel any different after they tell you why they thought it, because it's not going to be logical to you because they're a kid. So you're not going to feel any different once they tell you. So the
But that's still
notion
a good.
of
That's not a that you'll learn you'll learn something, and I get where you're coming from, Mark.
yeah,
But it's still you'll learn something from your kids in the sense of figuring out their thought process. And that's what
yeah,
we've been doing for years. It's just
yeah,
saying, okay, that's what you're supposed to be doing, and not giving them a chance to express why, because that's what
yeah.
happened with me and my
But
family,
yeah,
and
but I'm
they
talking about
never
stuff like
understood.
you were supposed to wash the dishes. I told you to wash the dishes. You was on your phone when
Yeah.
I left. I come back, you still on your phone and you
I
ain't
don't need to
washing
know
it.
why
Like
you ain't
stuff
No,
washed
like
the
that
that.
dishes.
part,
Right.
no, that part I
Yeah,
get. Yeah, that
like
part
that
I
stuff
get.
I'm talking about.
But
I
sometimes,
give you a chance to explain,
because I'm
No, I
saying
don't.
that
I don't
I
need no
I
have,
think
explanation.
what like what Mr. Takeover was saying, give them a chance to explain, to see their
Nah,
thought processes, and maybe and sometimes we assume that they do know or don't know with some of the things, and
I I, I talk to
we
my kids
clear
a
that
lot
up, but you
more
may still
now.
get this whooping, get this whatever you
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
get, this punishment,
It's gotta to me. It's got to be
but
obvious. But if it's
still,
like egregious
Right.
and like I told you to do something and it's either outward defiance or now I can see if, well, Dad, I was going to do that, but then so and so was choking, so then I went this way and I tried to take care of them. Okay, cool. But if it's already established that you were supposed to do a certain thing or you did a certain thing and you knew better than to do that, then I don't there's nothing you are going to say to make me feel better about the bad decision that you made. So
I
I
get
don't need
that.
to know why you made that bad decision. I just need to know that you made the bad decision. Now, if it was an accident, okay, cool. But if you made a decision to do, like, I don't need to feel what you're saying. I don't need to feel what you're doing in order to decide what I'm going to do as far as discipline, whether it's whatever discipline it is. But it's I think the mindset, to bring it back to what we were talking about, start acting like a boy or acting like a man. I think the thought process behind that, it's inaccurate because it's always like the perception, like you said, of the worst kind of guy
Yeah.
and how the worst kind of guy would react in this
Right.
situation. And I'm going to do that because he hurt me.
Right.
So I'm going to hurt them before they hurt me, or I'm going to be the one doing the hurting instead. Like it's wildly inaccurate. And you never hear guys say, you know what? I'm going to act like a woman. I'm not I'm not gonna think like a woman and act like a man. I'm not gonna do that. No guy ever does that. So even by saying that, women
Shouldn't.
are relinquishing their power and their authority and saying like their thought process is less than. That's
Right.
what was always weird to me.
You know
Right.
what?
And that's why
We
I had the issue with people saying that as a logical woman, I have to be thinking like a man. That's not right.
Right.
but as
In order
men,
to
we
be
also
in order
have
to be
to,
logical, you have to be thinking like a man. Yeah, that was always
as
weird to me.
as
Mhm.
men,
Yeah.
we also have to realize that for years we have expressed to women that they have no say. So when y'all talk about a woman being decisive about what she wants to eat, if you really think about it, some of those women are looking for their man to lead them to make that decision for them because that's pretty much what we're telling them, that they're not logical
To
thinkers.
Popeyes?
Uh, huh?
To
Hey,
Popeyes? Like
No.
Popeyes or KFC?
But no, I'm just saying because if you
Burger?
really think about it, it's again a lot of women look to their men to make decisions.
well,
And
go
I
so
like
go
if
it
I'm
that
sitting up
leader
here
there.
case
saying,
in point,
I
what
don't
Mark
know what I
said
want to
earlier.
eat,
What do you do now, Mark?
Uh, oh, now I'm in
What do you
IT.
do now, Mark? You say instead of saying what do you want to eat, you say what?
Oh, yeah. Guess where I'm
Oh,
taking you?
instead of yeah, guess where I'm taking you today, baby. Guess.
Yeah.
And then whatever she says
You,
is the
So
yeah,
right
you
whatever.
answer.
already there you go.
Girl, you so smart. Girl, you so smart. I knew I got the right one.
So what's
Yeah.
gonna happen when she figures out that that's what you've done and that you really had no intention of taking her where she wanted to go, but just that's how you did it?
I don't think we're gonna learn.
Deny, deny, deny.
See,
I be
okay,
personally
that's a whole
like,
Deny,
different
deny,
thing.
deny.
Woo, that's a whole different thing. But I do want to touch
listen.
on
I would never
Mr.
do that, bitch.
Takeover's point just half a second when he made the point of let me structure it this way. When we deal with what is assumed that a male strength is logic and what is a woman's strength is or weakness really to be driven and led by emotion, whatever iota of truth that may have has been unnaturally conditioned and cultivated to the degree that an emotional man looks weak and a logical woman appears unfeminine.
Hmm.
That
True.
Have you ever
is
dealt with
part,
with an emotional man?
yes, I
Now, how was
have
that
dealt,
experience?
given what
Horrible.
we were
God tell the
talking,
truth.
given what we were talking about, I received his emotion and I was able to help him process and get to a place where he could decide what he needed to do regarding those emotions and hopefully not repeat the circumstances that got him in that situation. So absolutely yes, I have. But the point
How
is,
was the experience? How was the experience?
because that's what I do, it's just what I do. I didn't feel like, oh, this chump, whatever. I didn't take it that way. It
What
wasn't, it's like if a child
what
comes up and
makes
asks me for food, if I'm a cook, food is what I do. That's so I didn't feel like it was bad. I didn't feel like it was, an extra burden on me or anything. It was just what he needed to be able to be helped to his feet and empowered to do what he needed to do forward. I didn't
what
have a
Latricia,
makes a
problem with it,
man
but a lot
that's
of women might have.
emotional? What makes a man that's emotional weak?
So
The idea that emotions are for women and logic
no,
is for men.
no.
So if he is doing what a woman does, then he is weak. That is why that is the projection. So what I'm saying is, and making this exact point expressly, whatever truth there is in the likelihood that women will act more on emotion than she will logic, and that men will act more on logic than he will emotion. Whatever truth there is in that has been cultivated and conditioned to unhealthy extremes, to the fact that now a woman who is logical is called acting like a man, and a woman who is emotional, a man who is emotional is said to be weak. These dichotomies have been set up for men to do this and women to do that, and the twain shall never mix. That is not healthy.
So you don't think that was a natural evolution? You think that
What I
that
am
was
let
So
me give
men
you another
should
let me give
so
you
let
another parallel. Let me give you another parallel, and I didn't
So
think we need to
maybe
wrap up.
those adult can also lead to screen Isha because you don't have
Of
that.
course, of course.
Then you go into and you're not on that same page or to have that mutual agreement. She goes over to the screen time scrolling. He goes over to the screen time scrolling, liking some pictures. As Tashawn says, some little young thing with Coca-Cola bottle.
yeah, heifer.
Um, that's true.
Oh my
But
gosh.
but to the question as we wrap up, um,
So yeah,
oh,
let's
Mark,
go
repeat
into
the question.
I was asking, do you
Oh,
think
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
that
I
was
got you.
societal? Okay.
I do, as I was mentioning, whatever truth there may be in it, biologically, naturally, inherently, whatever we call it, whatever there may have been an iota of, has been cultivated and conditioned and contaminated to
Hmm.
these unhealthy extremes.
Hmm.
Case on this point, then I'm gonna let us go. When we talk about how men are visual creatures, does that mean that women need to settle for dogs and troll boys and ugly people just because men are visual creatures? No. that extreme is not necessary. So when we say that men have the propensity to be logical, does that mean that women can't be logical too? No. When women are said to be emotional, does that mean that an emotional man is somehow wrong? No. These
Yeah, because I'm very
dichotomies
emotional. I'm
and
an
these
emotional man.
structures
So
You're
we're
that
very
gonna
say
emotional,
talk
men do
definitely.
about
this
that.
and women do that are unhealthy. And because that's where people have staked their claims and built their houses and dropped their anchors, we always end up in discussions about what's right for a woman versus what's right in general, what's right for a man versus what's right in general. And until the conversation lifts above these gender dynamics, we will continue to have a needless back and forth about who's right versus what's right.
So listen, good conversation, you guys. As always, I hate that we have to wrap up, but we got to stay on schedule and wrap up. That'll be one of our next topics. So, final thoughts for Screen Isha. Final thoughts. Listen, thank you so much, you guys, for joining with us. Quickly, Mr. Takeover, what you got going on coming up?
We got a good show tonight, 9 o'clock on our YouTube channel. The Sofa Pillow Talk with a couple, and we're going to be talking about parenting.
All right, parenting. All right. Mark B, what you got going on coming up?
I am still on my social media hiatus. When I
Okay.
come back, though, then I
Yeah,
Okay.
will be focusing more on podcasts and getting these words out there to the people.
we're
No doubt.
excited. We're excited. Miss Evelyn Whitney, what you got going on coming up?
I am continually working on various projects. The next one I want to have out, hopefully by the summer, and it's a companion piece to True Speak. And in the
Okay.
meantime, I will be able to. I'm still working on my sensible Sunday posts for everyday conventional wisdom, and I'm available to be followed on social media through all the platforms.
Love it. Love it. The real La Tressa, Coach La Tressa, what you got going on coming up?
Yes, so I have my monthly planner that you can buy from Amazon, as well as I'm having a digital planner coming out and hopefully an app
Okay.
coming out soon. So be on the lookout for that. Help
Woo, baby.
stay life. Whoop, whoop. And wait, I don't know if I went through earlier, but let me say now, Happy Founders Day to all the
All
devastating
right.
divas.
All right.
Greatest Awards Incorporated.
All
So
Yes,
happy
right.
Founders Day.
ma'am.
And I am
Woo.
taking new clients as well. Follow me on
Okay.
social media, the real Latressa, hashtag Coach Latressa.
That's what's up.
That's it. DJ Johnny Prince.
Yes, the Be Clear Alert podcast is going down. I got Mr. Marcus Jones, the licensed clinical mental health counselor, will be on Monday night, 9 o'clock. Make sure y'all tune in. I'm excited for that, y'all.
Now, what days are you on? Every
Oh, it varies. It could be, Monday. It could be.
okay,
It varies.
okay.
There's
So
no
you don't
set
have
schedule for the show. Yeah.
gotcha. And of course, make sure you follow the Mail Room 7671
Yes.
on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to that. Next week, we're going to be talking about I'm going to stick beside them, supporting your nation's dreams and goals. Are you really
Illogical.
equipped to do that?
Illogical. Illogical.
Are you really equipped to sit beside your partner in their endeavors? So
I know Evelyn hate that. I know Evelyn hate that concept. I'm gonna stick beside him. I'm gonna stick. That's
So you
mine.
got,
Be my
I'm just,
man. I'm gonna stick by him.
Mine.
are we gonna stick beside her?
I,
So Mark
I hate
B,
it too. I hate it too.
Professor Evelyn, if y'all want to come back next week for that, let me know. But we're gonna talk about that as we start wrapping up the month of January. January for
Yeah.
is commitment, and that's what we've been talking about,
Yeah.
and so forth. So next week, I'm gonna stick beside him. I'm gonna stick beside him. So
Yeah.
listen. Thank y'all so much for joining. It's been I always love these conversations. I love these conversations. And to you all out there, thank you so much for chiming in. Make sure that you follow each and every one of us. Download
Yeah.
that 101 TKO radio app. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure you are following the real La Tressa, Evelyn Whitney, Mr.
Facts.
Takeover, DJ Johnny Prince, and
Please
Mark B
do.
when he comes back.
Please
And
do.
let's keep these conversations, these culture conversations going. Because listen, I feel like we about to start getting heating up. Shoot, we ain't got to go to screen time in summertime. So
Uh-huh. We get crazy on these panels sometimes.
We get crazy on the. But one thing I love about
I ain't gonna let a man tell me what to do.
I love about me and my friends, we can have adult conversation, and we can disagree with each other, and we can respectfully, and that's the purpose of TMR, is to respectfully, the heart. You know what? There you go. We about to end this thing. But you know what, y'all?
And she just contradicted everything she said.
Why you giving up hearts? Why you giving up hearts?
This is my point. Now, what if a man keep doing this? If a man keep doing this?
Y'all caught it live. She just lied about everything she just said.
I love you, baby.
On that note, bye, y'all. Look, I don't even have to laugh. You know what? I can't even put in y'all done made me put. I can't even put in the thing. Well, I kept getting cut off, so I don't know what's going on with the what you call it. But anyhow, bye, y'all. Don't be throwing up no hearts. Bye.
Oh, God.
The mail room, I be tuned in. Listen in to Chashawn, she be going in.
Y'all.
Black queen for us black kings. We can learn a thing or two when we're locked in. One of the few places we can be heard. Man, I rocks with her, that's my word. The show is enlightening, engagement always enticing. I'm always come with an open mind, I'm never frightened. Guaranteed to walk away with minerals. Now that I'm thinking everything else is minuscule. We're the fools who don't protect black women. No arguing, disrespect, and that's it.
Y'all.
Please come in peace when you call in, cause our friends ain't no slouch, fair warning. The mail room, messages from him. Y'all better listen if you wanna win. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in.